Hey everybody. I wasn't going to come out today necessarily because it was a pretty busy weekend of, Saturday was a much longer walk than I was expecting, and then went and hung out with friends and did other things, and then straight into like D&D, pretty much nonstop all of Saturday. And Sunday, went out early, went and did photography for several hours with a friend, and then went home, immediately ate as quick as I could so I could get to recording with my sisters. We played some games for hours, which ran right up until, I gotta leave. Literally down to the minute of like, I cannot keep playing, I have to stop. But we were on to a boss that we almost beat. Very, very close. Regardless, then it was go back out last night in the evening, even though it was 97 degrees out. It cooled off, thankfully, in the evening, and we found spots with shades where we could, shade to see birds, because I kind of led a small group of a couple people that I know now. I've done that a few times. By leading, it's more of just like, I know the place, I'll kind of guide us and walk us around and talk about what birds I see. They like it. I like it. It's fun. So I was not going to come out today as well because I'm tired. But it's Monday, not doing anything else in the morning, and I have a new camera. Talked about it on Patreon a bit, but I just kind of pulled the trigger on something that I financially cannot afford and went, oh, well, I'll pay it off. It'll be fine. It's not like I don't have a job currently, so we'll do what we could do, and we'll pay it off. And so I bought the Sony A7R VI, which is the upgrade from the 5. And the only reason I got it was not just new number, bigger number, anything like that. It genuinely has a bigger generational upgrade to having the pre-capture, which is extremely important for what I'm doing. And I already, just over the last 2 days, it came in on Friday. I just said how busy everything was. Came in on Friday, later in the afternoon. I had just enough time to like charge the batteries, turn it on, kind of get some basic settings, just like throw something on there and go, okay, cool. And then Saturday and Sunday, that 3 times of 3 different outings, totaling over 10 hours. I've been nonstop kind of going and haven't really, it's just kind of been like, all right, well, I've kind of got some settings. I've taken the time now to at least type up the different custom settings I want to set, because it was kind of funny. I was missing things. I was trying to set up the camera instead of seeing birds. I was not ready to go Saturday morning because I did not spend enough time. I had D&D on Friday night. I run the campaign. I can't be doing 2 things and try to get people to have fun while I'm sitting there playing with settings on my camera. And I just did not have enough time otherwise to properly set everything up. So, didn't quite go the way I was hoping it would, but that's fine. Saturday morning we did what we could there, and then on Sunday more of the same, like mostly going, not exactly, but I've thought of through all the custom settings I want to put on there. And while I was out there doing that, it was a moment of like, I've realized this is the first time I haven't touched a new camera. I've been pretty used to mine for years now, and it's the same brand, it's just the next step up. But that is enough where it feels like I'm missing a tooth or something. It's just, this is off. It's not quite right, and it's throwing me off. And my photographer friend was like, what are you talking about? It's another Sony. It's the same thing. What do you even, and like at one point she said something about, oh, I like the picture, there's a tree here. Take a picture of this tree for me. I'm not getting my other lens out. She got the big lens and everything, which I get. I carry 2 cameras. I did it. I'm like, you do it. So I just handed her my, now I've swapped. My landscape one is now the Sony A7R V because I carry the 6. So I just handed that to her. I was like, here, you go ahead. And she starts touching it. She's like, oh no, I see what you mean. This is like a different world entirely. Now, to be fair, she's got a Nikon and this is Sony. So it's even more different with like the button placement and things. But it's enough where it's like, it's throwing you off a little bit, huh? Yeah, just a little bit. So I wasn't going to come out today either. When I went to bed last night, my plan was, okay, take some time, just set up all your stuff, get your camera fully ready to go before you go out and try to take pictures again. And then I should have a new memory card reader later today. It'll be delivered today because that was something that I had to order. I ordered the camera, which I'll talk about money. I don't have any right now. Like extra money up front, no. This will all be paid off over the next few months, where my extra debt paying already, as I've been doing, just pivoted from one thing to the other. But like the camera was $4,500 for the body. I got a memory card for it because now I have to get the CF Express cards. I figured I needed that because of the pre-capture and everything. Like everything I was reading, the old ones I have will work, the SD cards, because I have got fast SD cards for sure. But like, if I'm going to do that and I'm going to be buffering to this stuff, like the pre-capture, if I didn't explain, which I've been talking about for months now. I've first heard about it months and months ago for the other cameras and went, ooh, I want that so much, especially with wildlife photography. Picture, you see a bird on a branch or something, you know it's going to take off, you're just not sure when, and you're standing there waiting and waiting and waiting, and then it goes and you press the trigger, and unless you somehow predicted, like you can maybe, if you're really good, you can tell that they make a little dip and think, you know, they get ready to kind of telegraph it a little bit before they take off, but not always. And it's very difficult to do. Pre-capture means while I'm watching that and I know it's going to take off, I hold down, I halfway press my shutter button, or I could set it up to other things, but it starts capturing that. And it just starts looping the record, that those frames start looping within itself to just like a temporary storage that winds up getting deleted until you fully press down the shutter, and then it goes back up to 1 second in time before. So as long as you capture it before that, you know, you press that button within 1 second of it taking off, you will get that full range. It's amazing. I've already been playing with it. The only thing I've noticed is that it's incredible and I love it and it's the best thing, and that is why I wanted to get it so badly. I knew as soon as I heard about it that would be a legitimate game changer and worth the upgrade. The only thing is that when they announced it at first, it was only available for their flagship A1, but the second version, so an A1 II, which is like $7,000. I go, that is a lot more. That is tough to swing no matter what. And then they put it on the R, which is the bigger resolution, which I like because I've got the 5. And when it was, yep. I knew it was a matter of time once they announced it in June, I think. And I saw that because I've been completely trying to avoid looking at things anyway, because I don't want to just like convince myself of things that I can't afford anyway. But once it was just a matter of time. And I really mapped it out to be like, okay, so I could just wait until I have paid off my debt in 2 years or 3. And be 2 or 3 years behind if I just get the camera now, because I'll still wind up, like, no matter what happens, it's very unlikely I will ever have $5,000 just in cash up front that I can willingly spend on something. It's never been how it's worked this entire time since I started and bought my very first camera. It's always been a buy now, pay later situation. That's the reality of it. I don't make enough money where I can have that. I spend my money foolishly on things. If you've seen anything of anything I do here, you know that's the case. So like, what was the difference? What was I waiting for on this one? Why was this one going to be different? And it's already been an amazing weekend. I got that, I got the camera, and I got an extra battery. I'm only down to 2 batteries. I didn't buy the battery grip because there are no third-party options currently. It's too new because they upgraded and went, oh, hey, all those old batteries you got, I got like 10 of them now. Don't work with the new camera. Only work with the old one, which I don't need that many at this point. So it is what it is. I'm considering selling my old one. I don't like to sell my old stuff. I like to hang on to it and repurpose it for other things, but legitimately I could use the money for it. So I haven't considered whether or not the older one that I was using for the landscape, whether or not I'll be keeping that or selling it. But all of that to say, I can't do the only other thing that I really would be to feel productive today, which is to start learning the editing process, because I have already, on a weekend, a typical weekend, I've now been going out, even on a full weekend like that, I would at most, I think the most I've ever done is like 300 or 400 photos. I got over 1,000 this weekend. And that was very light because there was a lot of, I'm not even going to try because I don't have my settings set up or anything. I missed a lot of opportunities this weekend and still wound up with over 1,000 photos that I am now going to have to cull through and edit. My process was go one by one. That is impossible now. Now it will be like, look at the screen of, 30 at a time and go that one, and then scroll and go that one, and start picking them out that way and then deleting the rest because I can't hold on to all of those. That's way too much data. I like doing it, but it's too much of exactly the same. If that was another thing, it was the pre-capture, so I can get things there. And then the second part of it is it's a much higher frame rate. So that is, when taking photos, the amount of frames it can do per second is very similar to video. That even, like, now that it's 30 frames a second, I'm showing my friend going, oh yeah, I got it taking off on the branch here, look, and I can just hold down the button to like cycle through them, and it literally is 30 frames a second going back. She's like, that's a video. And I go, yeah, you're not wrong. Like, that's the joke, is it's going through. It could easily be played at 30 frames a second, and that's what video records at. I do 60. It's cool. But yeah, like, that's legitimately, that is one of the frame rates that's exactly what it is. And I get 1 second of that up to the thing, and I can just hold down the button. But it goes really, really fast. So I actually have to back off of that just because the new memory card is a 240 gig, and I get 2,000 or 3,000 shots. I can fill that in a day easily now, depending on what I see. that's not ideal. Like, I got to be a little more cautious. I got to be a little picky about it. I used to just let it rip because at best the Sony A7R V would do, I think, 10 frames a second. And I have tripled that. So I have to be a little bit picky and choosy just because otherwise I'll be swapping memory cards a lot and I just don't have the money to buy it. Like, those memory cards are not cheap. That one that I bought, that 240 gig, was almost $300. And then a battery was like $100, and a battery grip, so I could have had that, which I want at some point, was $500. And the last one I got was cheaper. What I was using on the 5 was a third-party one with third-party batteries. They work great. I have no problems doing that. It's just that they don't exist because it's too new. It will take time. That will come out. I will get more of those later, and I will get another memory card. But this is the first memory card. I don't have it to show or anything. It would be better for the video, but I'm just talking through it. I should be getting out there. The sun is clearly risen, and there are birds, so I'm going to wrap up now. But it was a new type of memory card. I've never used a CF Express card, so I don't have a CF Express card reader. That's coming today, whereas everything else came on Friday. So it won't be here until later in the day. So the only other thing I could do to feel productive, like I was saying, would be to pull everything off, learn the editing process, to look through everything, and start editing those photos. That is literally not an option unless I wanted to transfer it straight off the camera itself, which I don't know the speed of what that would take. And it was like, I could just go out and take more photos. So it'll be a mix of me walking around a new place I've never been to. Several of my friends are moving up north, or you know, are already up north. The point is, I don't go north very often. I mostly go in Boulder County, but I am up north, up near Fort Collins today at a state wildlife area, since I have my pass and everything. And I'm going to walk around and see what birds can be seen, because I'm trying to explore that area for those people when we are ready to go. Great, you know, my photographer friend and everything will be like, all right, we're going to start going up this way and exploring this area. So I figured I'd get a jump on it now and start going. That's why I did this one. And then the last time I came out, I also went north. I'll be doing that a bunch more to see what birds are up in the northern counties. New camera, new area. I think that's everything. I'm going to get out there while the light isn't real nice and hopefully set up my settings as we go, because I've got them written down, what I want for my various things. I can have up to 6 custom modes, which I don't remember if that's more than the last time, because I only ever used the 3 that were on the dial. So I will set my main 2 on the dial so I can quickly get to those faster than anything else. And then I have a full list of, I think 4 or 5 I've already decided so far that I want to set up. And then I got to go take the 5 that I use for my landscape and my macro photography and set that whole thing up for those settings as opposed to bird settings. Because it's different. It's definitely different. So what will come out of today is this. Maybe a bit of landscape if it's cool while I'm out walking around or whatever. I'll put the camera on and I'll do the come along as I do that, and you'll see me trying to take photos of birds and setting up my settings as I go. I don't plan on being out for too long, but I say that every time, and sometimes at most I'll walk for 2 hours turns into, how'd I be out here for 6? So who knows? I just need to stop saying that. I'm gonna go out full stop.
I did nothing that I said I would. I did not pull out this camera to get any of the landscape shots to go in the vlog, so it'll all just be from the chest mount if I remember to grab some. I didn't update a single setting on my camera. I did none of it. But I spent 3 hours out there, maybe. What time did I actually get here? 2 hours and 40 minutes, excuse me. And I think this may be a personal best for, you know, best, highest total species I've ever seen in one day while solo, because it's a lot easier to see when other people are out there. But over 160 minutes, 1.5 miles, I got 31 species. Almost, probably more, because I couldn't find and didn't want to mark down a woodpecker that I couldn't see. It was Merlin picked up the downy woodpecker at one point, and I went, okay, it's definitely possible. Let's see if I can get to see it to make sure. But I didn't put that one on there. There was another, something else I couldn't recognize, a little brown thing, way too quick to match any of the ones that I'm familiar with. So it's probably a female of something that I don't know. There was a bunch. This place was overwhelming, honestly. Best spot I've been to in a while. Just a really thick forest, lots of grass area. Need to do a tick check. Should have done that before I got in the car. Had ticks on me yesterday. Gotta remember to do that. Yeah, just a ton. It's hot now. I'm very hot in the car. I'm going to update my settings, but I'm going to roll down the windows, but I'm right next to the road, so it's just road noise the whole time. So I wasn't going to talk or do anything else but just a ton of stuff. I walked a good bit, like just completely overwhelmed with the amount of things, trying to keep track and do, like, it is really useful to have another person to just keep an eye on things and be like, oh, I also spotted this, I got this. Like, I'm sure the 31 would be more had I had anyone else with me to do anything like this. But that is very cool. Right at the start, I got really excited because Merlin was picking up. I heard a call and I went, what is that? And it only confidently, but it's Merlin, so it's the best suggestion, best guess it could do, kept going indigo bunting over and over and over, which would have been rare for this area. And I saw it, and I took pictures of it, but it's got a lot of white to it. It's immature, you know, it's a juvenile for sure, but it seems more like a lazuli or lazuli bunting than an indigo, which is not rare, still infrequent for this area, but not one that I have to prove specifically. But I got audio, I got pictures of it. I will double check at home, make sure and update if necessary for something like that. It would be really cool. It's almost never that I get to put in any information that I found a rare one, but still saw a bunch. The hummingbird right at the end, I don't think for this area and this time of year, like this is a very thick forest with water all around. There are ponds, there's, you know, lakes, there's a creek, there's a thick, like, if there is not an owl somewhere in that forest, I will eat my hat. Like, there's no way. It's just a perfect environment for it. I just never heard or saw one at any point, but there's got to be. This place is really, really good, and it goes on for a long time. And it's even across the other road, too, to go that way. Like, there's other... I'll be visiting this place from different locations, just one big area at different spots all along here. Is good. Is really, really, really good. And then you've got a field on the other side. When I kind of get out, like, you can only go so far before you hit the river, and you got to turn back and come around and get back on the trail, which is busy. There's a lot of people with bikes, so there's a lot of on your left over and over, which totally fine. At least they're doing it. I've been on trails where people don't bother with that and then just speed on by. It's like, boy, it's a good thing I didn't take one step to my left, because we would have had an accident. Bells and on your lefts and all things like that exist for a reason. But anyway, I didn't have a single person pass without something, which was nice. That has not been the case in some places. Boulder. Anyway, then I went further out, and on the way to the lakes, big open prairie, big open spaces there. I got Say's phoebes out there. Saw some more finches on the flowers. The hummingbird I saw for just a second, but I got photos of it. I'm getting a lot more photos with this one, let me tell you, and not just number of photos, because I'm getting close to 2,000 for the weekend. That's more than I would do in a month before. Like, even up until this point with the A7R V, the R5, even at the most I would do there, fully letting it go on a really busy weekend on some of my biggest ones. Like, I don't even know if maybe 400 or 500 for Kansas, I want to say off the top of my head, but that was more than 2 months. It was 2.5 months ago. I don't remember exactly. I'm sure I said it at that point because I remember talking to the guy, another photographer who had the other camera that had the pre-capture. He was like, oh yeah, I'd done like 20,000 this weekend. I was like, that's ridiculous. I didn't think to ask him because I didn't even consider it. Now, next time I see that guy, my first question will be, what kind of memory cards do you have, man? And how many of them? Do you just have like a, you know, the scene from the animated Disney movie Hercules where the guy's got the trench coat, he goes, you want to buy a sundial? It's the, you know, like you want to buy a watch or Rolex or whatever, but he's just got tons of them. Is it that he just opens the, you know, flap of his shirt and he's just got a row of SD cards of some kind? Like what? That is a lot. At the absolute best, putting my old one into here as a secondary and then using that other one, I think I can get a combined 5,000 out of 2 cards. So he's got to have 4, 6, 8 more, like a bunch of cards, a ridiculous amount of cards. I'm hot, I'm sweaty. I got to update my camera settings and then I'm going home. Because if I don't do it now, I will get home, they will be in the case and I will not do it. So I will do it while I sit here and at least input the ones that I know I want to do. That is my goal. I am done. I did not record nearly as much or do nearly all the things that I wanted to do, but I still had a really, really good time. This was a really good time out. I'm glad I at least recorded it from the chest while I walked around. Calm down. Car. Anyway. New camera's really, really good. Got a bunch of photos. I'll pick through and get some ones, but I'm getting what I like, and that's very worthwhile purchase. Let me tell you. Good camera. Good time. All right, that's it. Bye, everybody.